All right, so we're live, guys. This is the weekly after hours, and we've got Chris with us. We got Cody back. We got Josh back, Batiram, and Dylan. Tyler had to dip out for a couple different reasons, but
One reason's larger than the others.
yeah. Well, I'm sure he'll indulge us next time on why he had to dip out. But so.
Dip
We have
in.
two possible. We have two topics. I don't know what you guys want to go on first. We could do what you're working on and why, or we could go on to our favorite Walmart story.
I mean, both are necessities.
Let's hit up the Walmart story so we can all get in the zone with what we're painting.
All right,
Because
fine.
I gotta get my stuff together.
Who wants to go first?
Well, mine wasn't technically a Walmart story, but I actually used to work in high school at a Super Kmart when they first came up, and I was basically one of the guys that was out just gathering carts in the parking lot. And there was always this woman who must have been 75, 80 years old, who'd be riding around in just this probably 200-year-old Cadillac, it looked like, propositioning the men pushing carts for sex.
Interesting.
What?
Absolutely. She would roll right up to you while you're pushing a line of carts, hold out just this roll of bills out the window, and ask you if you want to get her off. And
Oh my god.
yeah, and you just keep walking and pushing your carts. It's
Would she at least offer a good rate?
I didn't stop long enough to ask. There was just a ball of money hung out the window, and I didn't look any further than that.
Sorry, I only do $500 an hour. I respect my body.
I wouldn't even know what a competitive rate is.
Yeah, I feel like I would just be underselling myself. What? $20? Okay, that's cool. Wait, unit of Warhammer models? Okay, that's all right.
Cool.
And we all know now Dylan can be bought for a box of Empire State Troops.
Video games and Warhammer, that's all I ask.
So, Chris, you had one?
I do have one. What summer? Summer of 2011. I was marching. I was marching drum corps, which is essentially an activity where for 3 months I was traveling the country on a tour bus, sleeping in local high school gyms, rehearsing music all day, doing marching band competitions by night. So since we're on the road all the time, you really only had like once every 2 weeks time to stop at like a Walmart to like pick up supplies. So like if you ran out of shampoo, if you ran out of toothpaste, if you needed a new pair of socks because yours were too sweaty, like so. And when they drop us off at these Walmarts, the tour buses, which were coach buses, would wait outside for us, and they had a time, they had a curfew. That's the time you get there, and they give you like an hour, 15 minutes. You go through the store, get everything you need, and get back to the tour bus. If you don't get back to the tour bus by said time, you are on kitchen duty, which kitchen duty for us was the kitchen was a kitchen on a semi-truck. So a semi-truck converted into a kitchen. So kitchen duty sucked because there was no functioning sink. You had to use like a hose to clean every dish. So it was like one of those things where like when it was kitchen duty for a week, you were like, no. I'll get back to the bus. So I'm running around. It's like near the end of the summer, so I need everything. And I'm running. And of course I get on the line where like this woman throws a bitch fit about like turkey prices. So like I'm like, really? Are you serious? So I'm looking at my watch. I'm like, all right, I got 15 minutes. Okay, just flipping out. All right, I got 8 minutes. I got 8 minutes to ring all my stuff up. So we get down to like 2 minutes. The woman's finally ringing my stuff up. I throw a $5 bill on the table, and I'm like, you have 4 seconds to finish bagging all of my shit, or I'm taking this $5 back. So she's like bagging all my stuff. So at this point, I have a minute to get back to the bus. So I pick all my stuff up, It's like 5 bags worth of stuff. I just grab it, and I start to sprint for the door, right? And I know you can't tell, but like I'm like 5'10", like a solid 220, like 225 on a bad day if I ate a little too much Taco Bell. And like I start to sprint for the door. Now, in the Midwest, they actually have security at Walmart, I guess, certain ones, quote unquote. So I start to sprint for the door, and this old man in his mid-70s with a cane pushes himself out of the lawn chair he's sitting on in front of the door, walks in front of me, and I shit you not, puts his hand out and goes, "Stop."
He Gandalfed you. He's just like, you shall not pass.
Anybody have a guess? I'm from New York, man. We're a little abrasive about things. Can you guess what I did?
You just ran through him.
I may or may not have bowled a 75-year-old man over. I flattened him. I got on the tour bus, and I drove to a different state. Never to be heard from again. Still no lawsuit press. No nothing.
Where was this at?
But guess what? No kitchen duty.
What's
See,
important?
joke's on you, because that 7-year-old man plays Warhammer and is watching right now.
Oh.
I was going to say, he has a vendetta. He has your picture up on a dartboard just every day.
So you did DCI? Is that what you were doing?
Yeah, I did DCI, yep.
Which band?
I marched Colts.
Okay, I did some practice with the Cavaliers.
Oh,
No, not the Cavaliers, the Cadets.
Oh, and you went to New Jersey? Or did you do their local?
They did a local thing.
Oh, okay, cool. What do you play?
I played trombone.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I play trombone. I was going to join too, but I couldn't stand that. I honestly hated marching band.
Yeah.
I think this was in Kansas that happened. I remember Kansas very vividly because it was the only place where you saw the stadium 3.5 hours before you got there. The place is so damn flat, it's unbelievable.
Kansas is awesome.
If you can clear some stuff up, did you try to like bribe/tip the bag girl?
Because she was functioning at the rate of a 4-year-old. Yes, I bribed her with a $5 bill.
And that's more than she made all week.
I have a picture on an external hard drive laying around of this woman because it was just too priceless. Oh my god, let me see if it's on Facebook. I'll find it.
Wait,
Woman, like
of the bad girl or the one bitching about the turkey?
the one bitching about the turkeys. Totally.
Okay. I was gonna say the bad girl. That'd be kind of creepy.
And
Just throw down $5 and take pictures.
And here it
I
is.
think that gets back to my story.
This bag, quote unquote, girl, because I wasn't sure what was going on. I had no idea what was. I mean, there was like, she had one eyebrow. Just like one eyebrow. I don't know how to explain it. Like her hair, like you ever seen somebody wearing a wig with like bangs on it, like bangs? Where it's just like that doesn't look like your friggin' hair. Like whatever. To each his own. The one eyebrow really threw me. To each his quote unquote own. The one eyebrow really threw me off. I couldn't look at her. I had to look at her good eye the whole time.
So was it only on like one side of the head, or was it like a monobrow straight across the center?
No, a single eyebrow on one side of her head.
Okay, that is a little weird.
No monobrow. She's not Wolverine. Yeah, no. So then I ran this poor old man over, and I to this day I kind of feel bad about it.
I like how you're like kinda.
Dude, I don't know if you should be admitting this online, because like, imagine there's an open case in another state about like a man that died, and like, and we're just finally getting enough clues to figure it out, and you're gonna
I'm sorry.
I will
subpoena tomorrow.
I will tell you though, if they're anything like Kmart when I worked there, there's probably still a picture of you up in the security office. They kept things for like decades.
Wanted. Ran over Cletus at 10:30 at night. Sorry, Cletus. I'm real sorry.
And hell, with those little small towns in Kansas, that was probably like the mayor who was just moonlighting.
Was it in a small town too, or was it in like Kansas City?
You know what?
What's the difference?
Here's the when I was in the I come from Long Island where everything, even out east, like where the houses are gigantic and there's lots of property. Where I come from, it's like one giant town that everything touches each other, and if you didn't know counties and if you didn't know the town lines, it's just one giant. Everything looks like one giant town. Everything touches each other. So when I go out there and like, yeah, this is a big town, and I'm like, then why is there 4 cars on the highway at 5:30 at night? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. That's not a big town. I'm sorry, that's not my establishment of a large town. So like when people are like, was it a big town? I'm like, well, I saw 4 cars. Like, what does that mean to you? You tell me. It's all about perspective.
For me, Des Moines, the big town, because it extends to a West Des Moines, a South Des Moines, and an East Des Moines, and then it even extends into Ankeny, which is where I live. So for me, it's like a big town, even though it's not. It's just full of fucking car loan places and
I can tell
auto
you from
shops.
I can tell you from spending time in Des Moines in the Iowa area. Des Moines is like Brooklyn and Chicago like took a shit, and then that shit took a shit, and that's what you end up with afterwards.
Yeah,
They have a
actually,
good state capitol building there. Look.
Don't hold back or anything, Chris.
I'm keeping my mouth shut. I'm letting him dig his own hole right now.
I like the towns. I'm just talking about relative size.
yeah, our skyline is 2 buildings. Straight up.
Let me tell you something though. They're 2 beautiful buildings. 2 beautiful buildings.
Yeah, exactly. It like I could see it from my house. I can see the principal building from my house.
To be honest, I think I was only in Des Moines one time for like a day.
We
We spent most of the time in Dubuque.
Honestly, Des Moines, it's actually less profitable, and it's a worse city than West Des Moines. West Des Moines, where we have like this huge mall and crap, and where all the business is and all the rich people live and crap.
Now, hold on. When you're talking like West Des Moines versus East Des Moines versus North, like all this stuff, is this like what we would equal to like a borough in New York? Like, are we talking like it's
absolutely.
a totally different city, or is it like?
It would be like a borough. They consider themselves a city, but they're not. It's pretty much just an extension of Des Moines.
Those bastards! It's like Washington D.C.
But yeah, Iowa sucks. I don't know. I would actually like to live in a more rural area, to be honest.
Come to
More special.
Nebraska, there's nothing here.
What was that?
Come to Nebraska, there's nothing here.
You guys have a sick zoo, man.
That sounds like the tourist department there. Come to Nebraska. Why the fuck ever? I don't know.
I got to rehearse in the Husker Stadium, man. That was awesome. That stadium is so cool for a high school stadium. We don't have not high school, for college stadium, because we don't have like major college stadiums out here in New York. Like that's not a thing. You know, we have Nebraska doesn't have a professional football team, whereas like you root for the Huskers if you're out there, you know? So it's one of those things where like walking into a college stadium like that was really, really cool.
Yeah, Midwest is all about their football, man.
Yeah, that was an awesome experience in that stadium in particular.
That's the only thing in that entire city of Lincoln.
I mean, I know I could tell that. There's one road.
There's a pretty surprisingly big Warhammer community out here, though.
Oh. I can tell there definitely is one place that sucks more than Iowa though, and that's Kansas. Cause like on tour, Kansas, like instead of just saying fuck, we'd say Kansas. It was at that point that's how things were. Anytime you wanted to F-bomb, you just said Kansas instead.
Have you experienced like the cool parts of Kansas?
Oh, you mean the well?
Once it,
No, it's the sign saying now leaving Kansas.
No, there's
I default to perspective on this one.
From my perspective, basically, you in Kansas City, where it's separated between Mississippi and Kansas, that's where you have like SeaWorld and all that crap. There's a lot of really amazing barbecue places out there. So if you're a fan of barbecue at all, it's a great place to go. But
I have
it's
had barbecue down there is legit. I will say that. You are right. Kansas barbecue was the shit.
it's one of the things, like, the more shady the barbecue restaurant is, the better it
Better
is.
it is, yeah.
Like, I went to a place with bars on the windows and stuff, and there's a big old black guy on a swivel chair that looked like BB King. He would just, like, holler us in, like, he's like, oh, come on in. He was so happy. It was the greatest food I've ever eaten.
Yo, BB Kitty, if you're watching this, I didn't say it. He did.
It is what it is. I just stated exactly what happened. Just verbatim what happened.
BB King approached you at a barbecue restaurant. That's what I just got out of it. And said, yo, sit at my table, bitches.
Eat these barbecue ribs. They're great. But yeah. The more shady it is, the better it is.
Oh, man. I miss the Midwest sometimes, and then other times I don't. Sometimes it's actually too busy out here for me.
Yeah, see, I don't know how you guys live the city life.
I mean, we're not city folk. We're suburban, but our suburbs are not like your suburbs.
Honestly, to other people, we might as well be city people.
What's
Right,
up?
Chris?
Yeah.
I said to other people around the states, we might as well just be city people.
I mean, if they were out here, they'd be like, this isn't a suburb. What are you talking about? This is a city. You're right. No, you're right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I stayed in a suburb in a couple suburbs in Illinois around Chicago, and those were freaking huge. It might as well have just been a city.
Chicago's similar to New York as far as the suburban style. I've been to the Chicago suburbs for a few when we were touring in the summers, and yeah, I would compare it to here. It felt like home being there, which was kind of weird.
The debauchery and how no one gives a fuck. Like, did you notice on the highways how much trash there is just everywhere?
And the fact that there's a Dunkin' Donuts every 3/4 of a mile.
I'll tell you the worst city I've ever been in is St. Louis. That place is...
I don't think I've been. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've been.
The
Wow,
amount
it's
of
so bad.
trash is everywhere. Roads are in terrible shape. You feel like you're going to get hepatitis just being in there.
Yeah, St. Louis is not a good city.
The problem is
Not at all.
they don't got enough inmates to clean the trash up.
Is that a good thing, though?
I mean, it depends. Once again, I default to perspective. I'm not sure.
I feel like having less inmates is a good thing. Unless it's just because out there they just kill everyone with the death penalty.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the reason.
One of my friends lives in northwest Missouri, and I guess his fiance was living in a house. It was like a 3-bedroom house and was paying $500 a month for the lease.
Jesus.
I'm like,
Was it a
that's
crack house?
amazing. What the fuck? And apparently it's a rather nice house. It's just they have a low living cost because no one wants to live in Missouri.
Wait, what was it? What was the price
$500 a month.
for leasing a
Yeah.
house?
Yeah. No, not the lease itself, just the rent.
I can tell you
Towards the
around here that
lease.
would go in the realm of triple what you just stated.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine. Like for
Around
me,
here, you'll
it's-
pay about $1,500 for 3 bedrooms.
I pay
Might
$700
be on
for
the
two
low end,
bedroom.
right?
You paid $700 for 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
Jesus,
I'm
balls.
paying about double for 1-bedroom.
Really?
Cost of living is insane out here.
It's
Yeah. I have a 3-bedroom, 2-car garage that I'm paying $1,200 a month for.
yeah, that's how much.
Midwest. Woo!
I own my house, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. I pay less than $700 a month to own.
Oh my gosh.
What town are you in? Where are you? What state?
I am in a little suburb town called Jamestown that's just outside of Greensboro, Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
The Carolinas are where to go as far as real estate is.
Yes.
I always, when my girlfriend's family's from there, and whenever they're like, yeah, my mortgage is $100,000, I'm like, oh, what the hell are you talking about? A
It's the
mortgage
same in
around here is
Tennessee.
like
Mine
800
actually
grand.
mine was 92 when I bought the house 2 years ago.
A mortgage around here is like $500,000 to $800,000. Easy,
Yeah.
easy.
Not me.
Right, Nick? Is that accurate?
That's the higher end. I feel like most houses are about 500, anywhere from 4 to 500.
Here,
Mostly.
a decent house will run you between 250 or 40 or 450.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, I mean, the next question is though, are there comparable incomes out there?
Yeah,
Like,
We
yeah, our freaking.
we have some pretty big companies here, like Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's company.
Oh, okay.
There's some big wigs here, but they have like multi-million-dollar houses out here.
Hmm.
Yeah, the prices equal out in the Midwest. Like, if you're living in Missouri, like she was paying $500 just to pay for the rent towards it, but it was like $100,000, and she was just paying $500 on the loan. But she was getting paid like $8 an hour, so
Our
it kind of equals out.
our property taxes are insane here. They're the fifth highest in the country.
What
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 is
were,
it?
what were the fifth highest?
Nebraska, or the area I'm in, Nebraska. I think it's because we're paying for the rest of this rural parts of the state.
Fifth highest. I would love to know relatively fifth to fourth to third to second to one, like what the scale is between those.
That's good.
Is it kind of like the meth capital of the world? Like, is it just like one of those things that people say all the time? Because like everywhere in Midwest, it's like we're the meth capital of the world.
Everybody
It's like
trying to
they're
be on
proud of
Breaking Bad.
it. Yeah, apparently New Mexico is the meth capital of the world.
Could be. I don't know. I don't follow meth.
It's when you live in the Midwest, it's very prevalent, and that's no joke. It's like just straight up prevalent. Like
I'll take your
if
word
you go
for it.
to if you go to a small
Yeah.
town, once you start hanging out with the people in the small town, like eventually one of them's like, "You want to do meth?" No.
All right, here are the worst property taxes. New Jersey's the worst, followed by New Hampshire, then Texas, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Illinois, Connecticut, Michigan, Vermont, and North Dakota are top 10.
How?
New York isn't up there? Are you serious?
No,
That's nuts. Because like the average income tax in our area is like, not
this
income
is for
tax,
property tax.
property taxes. I don't know, Chris. What do you think? 10,000 a year?
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
It's all based off the value of your house to the percentage of what your house is worth.
Yeah.
I mean, but we have out east. You're talking $1.2 million houses.
Mhm.
At our value, $1.2 million houses.
Well, of course, the actual monetary amount you're paying, but the percentage-wise is not as high.
And I guess you're right.
Let's see what New York's is.
I feel like that should be New York, New Jersey. Like, and not just New Jersey. Because our property taxes are similar.
I guess I actually don't know.
I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm just very surprised that we're not on that list at all.
Honestly, I always just assume we have it the worst.
To be honest, more often than not, it is that way. And then in case of zombie apocalypse, we live on a fucking island. We're just dead. We're just dead.
Or we're completely fine because we blow up the bridges that lead to New York City, and we're isolated from the rest of the country.
You know what?
It's either-
Except that zombies
really good or
don't
really
need to
bad.
breathe, so they just walk along the surface or along the bottom and
You
come
you
get
watched
you guys
that?
anyway.
You must have watched that shitty Land of the Dead movie.
Dude,
No.
I've seen I Am Legend. I know how that shit goes down. There's gonna be tigers loose in that shit. Yeah, everyone's gonna be dead except for Will Smith.
Yeah, I have I have a prediction that if anything ever happens on Long Island, people are going to try to flee through the city. I'm going east, all the way off.
Okay. According to this other website here, it should have been in the top 10 at 1.76, which is the same as
New York, New
Wisconsin.
Jersey. Oh, same as Wisconsin?
Yeah,
Or was Wisconsin on the list?
it was number
Two?
number 4.
Or
Wisconsin's number 4.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I like
Is
Wisconsin.
it like around the? Is it around the Dells or what?
I don't know.
I love Wisconsin. It's beautiful landscape there.
What's in Wisconsin?
Cheese.
Hills.
Pills and cheese.
When I see hills, I consider it beautiful landscape.
I
Like,
thought you said
Lake
pills.
Geneva's in Wisconsin, right?
yeah, and they have the Wisconsin Dells. It's kind of
Yeah.
like hidden. It's just like in the middle of the woods, and it's this huge theme park place with water parks and shit.
Yeah. I pretty much only know it from being the birthplace of Dungeons and Dragons at Lake Geneva.
Was it?
Ah.
TSR, they're actually working on a park, Gary Gygax Memorial Park out there. His widow's been working that up for basically since he died.
How many times have we
That's
heard
crazy.
the term Gary Gygax?
Yeah, we have a friend that worships Gary Gygax.
Literally worships him. Every time we used to play or we used to sit down for a session, he would always go, "Oh, this is in memory of Gary Gygax," and it's just like, "Oh, thanks." At the beginning of every single one. So. How long has he been
So-
gone?
About 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah, something like that.
Not long.
Well, do you think role playing would have come to be through other means, though?
Well, considering that he didn't actually have all that much to do with it, yeah.
People pretending to be other people exists. I mean, look at like Renaissance fairs. Yes, it would have existed.
Well, the problem is I mean, realistically, he didn't even do that much with Dungeons and Dragons. It was really Dave Arneson that really got most of the ball rolling there, and divorced it from more traditional miniature wargaming.
Right.
He just happened to be the guy that was smart enough to get all the legal backing for, and win all the court cases involved with it.
My kind of guy.
Yeah, it sounds like right up Nick's alley.
Yeah, why is that your kind of guy, Nick? I aspire to be a sneak. So that's why I play Skaven.
Well, you know what? I'm at least happy we finally got a Warhammer reference after, what, an hour of just talking about shit.
When I actually have this video uploaded, I'm gonna change the title to like Warhammer Around the States or something random.
Dude, I
Dylan
forgot.
sells
And
his
you,
body.
and you should really put Warhammer in quotes, like we're using it ironically.
But,
I forgot to say that I still use the machete I bought from the Walmart without identification in Kansas to trim my models off their sprues.
I'm using a machete.
Why? Why do you
Yeah,
use a
Model F.
machete?
Guys, it was a joke. Guys,
Okay. I could just totally see someone doing that though.
I think
I
Nick.
And
remember-
maybe here is the issue of living in a red state. My first thought was, they don't require permits for machetes.
When I saw that I didn't need, literally, well, WalMarts here aren't crazy like they are in the Midwest. So like we have local supermarkets, whereas something like out there, you guys don't like. You have a kind of local grocer, but it's not like a, I don't know, like we go to John's Farms or like there's local supermarkets. You guys go to fucking Walmart, right? That happens. That's how things work. So like when I saw like when I was there, I just kind of walked around for a little while and I was like, they sell guns? You sell guns in a Walmart? What the hell is going on? You walk, and I'm not talking like 9mm and like revolvers. I'm talking like I walked in and I was like, there's an Uzi on the shelf right now. Like what? It's not like a
There's
no
bad
Uzi.
1930s mobster movie.
you could buy guns in the Walmarts out here.
Can you buy an Uzi?
There's no Uzi. Those are illegal throughout the United States.
Well then, damn, that was illegal. I don't know why they got Uzis on the wall in Kansas. Obama should do something about that.
No, you
Yeah,
should.
Obama.
When we went to Tennessee, she just sees gun shop. And she was like, how in the world is not everybody dead? I was like, well, more guns equals less problems.
I'm pro-gun. Guns
I'm
are
Guns
pro.
don't kill people.
I'm pro. Let's not all be idiots.
People kill people with guns.
Yeah, there should definitely be like like a common sense test before you're allowed to buy a gun.
That's what's funny. Is like I think this should be a common sense test for a lot of shit because like I mean as I sit through like and I watch more people and like I watch people have children and stuff like if you have to take an exam to like be a teacher or like educate people or like even other stuff like if you have to take a bar exam to be a lawyer and understand law you should have to take an aptitude test before your like reproductive organs work, right? This is how this should work.
That's
Some
So
people
what would you-
shouldn't have kids.
That is so Chinese.
So what would you have, like chastity belts with the breathalyzer thing on them, where you have to blow into it, or a special code, or what?
If the breathalyzer could test your IQ,
You know what?
I guess.
You know what you could do? You could just take warning labels off everything, and then just let natural selection happen.
Well,
Like,
sadly, I feel like more children would die. Well, I guess, but that's a long-term plan, though.
well, like if you're dumb enough to crawl into a fucking garbage compactor while it's on, you
Well,
probably deserve to die.
That's what I'm saying. That's a long-term plan because now we're looking at current children dying. So, in 20 years, that generation isn't fucked.
So we
Yeah,
go
yeah.
from state taxes to children dying in trash compactors.
See, Chris and I know what's up. We got a plan. It's our running speech. We let children die.
This is some next-level shit right here.
Darwinism.
How do you get into a trash compactor while it's on?
Someone presses on while you're in the compactor.
No, that's not what
Or
you
you-
said.
Or with the compactors I have, you could just press the button and the door was open. There wasn't like a safety shutdown or anything. So you
So is
could
it
literally just.
is it
crush
just me,
yourself.
or does Dylan seem to know an awful lot about crushing people in trash compactors?
There was actually a case in Des Moines where a homeless person was killed because he was sleeping inside a dumpster, and they dropped him inside the garbage compactor and just crushed him with all the garbage.
I think
So
that
it's a real deal.
Dylan watched the episode of Star Wars over and over where they're in the trash compactor.
Dude, that's how I lived through my teens.
He gets off on that.
Dylan is actually a real-life Dexter. He's actually the inspiration for Dexter.
Here's the question for you.
See, I laugh too much to be Dexter. I feel like that'd be more like Nick.
I have a question. So in Star Wars,
Go for
they
it.
have a trash compactor, right?
hmm
Why do you need a trash compactor to shoot all this stuff out in space?
Because of the Imperial pro clean space laws.
Yeah, Darth Vader is pro green. He's pro space green, man. It's
Darth
the way
Vader
it
is hip with the hippies, let me tell you.
He's down with the hipsters.
I bet you his helmet is made of all recyclable plastic.
Well, being that he was basically recycled, I think that's good enough to count, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I would feel bad to be the guy in the suit. Just like James Earl Jones is Darth Vader, and the guy in the suit's just a prop. Let's face it.
Well, you know the reason why they did that, right?
Because they wanted someone bigger and more.
No,
menacing.
actually, David Prowse, who was within the suit, was supposed to be the original actor, recorded all the lines and everything, and then something like a month before release, they realized they didn't have any black people in it. So they were afraid at the time that they were going to get a lot of negative press for that and get boycotted and stuff, so they ended up bringing James Earl Jones, who was a very well-known black man who was known for his voice, so that the audience would recognize that, oh, this is a black man, and had him do Vader.
I thought they waited until episode 5 and then they just put Lando in.
See, that's the thing. The black people they have, you have Darth Vader, the most evil guy in the movie besides Darth Sidious, and you have Lando Calrissian, the like snake, being the black person. That's a bad representation, man.
Hey, I didn't say it succeeded in being all equal opportunity. I'm just saying that was the reason for them doing it.
I'm surprised Spike Jones didn't get on that, or Spike Lee. My bad.
No.
Wasn't he complaining about Flags for Our Fathers because like there's black people dying in it or something?
Because as we know, no black people have ever died in history.
He said something like only the black people died in Flags for Our Fathers or something like that. Something
He should be
ridiculous.
complaining about every action and horror movie in existence, then.
Yeah, I know. He's an interesting guy.
Funny thing I thought is that when he sued Spike TV because he basically, his argument was that because his name was Spike, he owned the trademark to the word Spike.
Yeah, I remember
the sad
that.
thing is that was relatively recent, wasn't it? Like 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Something like that, yeah.
What a
Yeah,
pathetic
I remember
asshole.
when Spike TV first came out.
He needs
Those-
some money.
What a pathetic asshole.
Tell us what you really think.
Yeah,
Nick.
tell us how you really feel.
What a pathetic asshole.
What makes a pathetic asshole? I mean, what makes one asshole better than the other?
I mean, a combination of being pathetic and being an asshole.
So, like, being pathetic isn't an asshole?
I mean,
Not
not
necessarily.
technically.
Dylan, can you just listen to the question you asked?
No, I know exactly what it sounds like.
There are plenty of non-pathetic people that aren't assholes, and there are plenty of
Right.
assholes that aren't
Yeah.
pathetic.
No.
I think the
I'm
deal
saying,
is you have to be pathetic and be, like, unreasonably aggressive about it. That's what makes a pathetic asshole.
So
Correct.
assholes aren't pathetic. They're two separate things, like pathetic people, assholes, and douchebags. Kind of
I'm
thing.
Yeah.
so fucking confused. I can't even follow what's going on.
That would be my argument, yeah.
It's kind of like the Team America speech they had going on. Did you guys ever see that movie?
Yeah, Team
I don't know. You just sounded like Max Headroom for a minute, and I didn't understand what you were saying.
Oh, do you guys remember the Team America speech at all? Like,
Never saw it.
Vaguely. I don't remember exactly.
I'll leave it to you guys to watch that. He basically addresses the same thing, but does it pretty perfectly.
I believe you.
Thank you, Nick.
So Warhammer.
Yeah, how about one more?
Alright, so what are we painting?
Oh yes, what are you painting and why? And then
I
we'll
guess
move on to what else.
I guess I'll start. I am working on, actually almost finished with a unit of Empire Swordsmen because I just bought the Empire troops off of the Empire player in my group, and they really need redoing because he reprimed them over the old paint in what I believe is glossy house paint in a spray.
Instead of stripping it?
Shh, I'm not even worried about it. Basically, I just want them acceptable enough to be on the table until I can replace them, is ultimately that. However, I did get, and I see if you guys can actually see this. This is a new conversion I did because I am sure as hell not paying the money for a Celestial Hurricanum. And so what I did is I'm going with a more like priestly Empire army. So for the Celestial Hurricanum, I've made an altar of Mor, the Empire God of Death.
I like that. So are you going with a more theme on your whole army then?
No, I'm actually going for like an Empire United sort of theme. I'm trying to use units from each of the Empire provinces and battle priests from each of the like 9 Empire gods.
Okay.
So, this is
pretty
just
cool.
the start.
What's the yellow and black province?
Yellow and black is Averlin.
Okay. That's my brother has Empire and he made an Averlin base theme, which is basically a gunline army.
Yeah. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. 10 to 15 years ago, it was known. Now it's Averlin, because they switched up all the colors, but
Oh, okay.
which makes more sense with a gunline theme army if you're like the Imperial Gunnery School at Nuln. But
Yeah, they actually have pretty good fluff. I haven't read much into it. I've always wanted to, though.
All right. Who's next?
I am painting ogres still, like it was last time. I'm working on regular ogre bulls right now, double hand weapons.
And then you have to paint, what, 24 lead belchers?
Well, I've got 12 of them, halfway them.
Do you think he is you, Nick?
You should make an old lead belcher army.
Because that would be awesome.
Nick, you
Because
know
it'd
that
be
idea was bad when
original.
you had it for yourself, right?
What?
You know that idea was bad when you thought of it for yourself, right? Why are you suggesting it to other people?
Because he's a sadist.
Well, you remember who originally suggested it, right, Chris?
Who?
Anthony on the car ride home.
Oh my God, you're totally right. He did.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, I'm going to do that. And he laughed at me and said, no, you're not. And then I did it.
And he's still laughing at you.
Yeah.
Dude, those 8 hours with Anthony in the car are going to be hilarious. Me and Anthony are relatively similar. So, it's
I'm
an
nothing like
entertaining-
either of you.
I know, you're not like either of us. Alright, who's next? Am I up?
I can go. I'm painting a hell pit because why shouldn't I be? Right? Right? Why should I not be painting a hell pit?
That's true.
No good reasons?
Because you don't want your friends to rage.
Well,
It's only me. It's only me.
Because of those wood elf flaming arrows that had +1 to wound.
Yeah, dude, they're gonna be destroyed by the wood elves. I feel like.
nah. I'm bringing the storm banner.
Okay.
I love how that's his default answer. Nah, I'm good.
I got the storm banner.
No, only does the Hell Pit revive with 6 wounds with me. Against me. Only. The only time I could drop a rock template on it, do 6 wounds, he doesn't save it. And then it revives itself with all 6 fucking wounds again.
I ended up stopping. I used to bring a demon prince, but I ended up stopping because I would always get sucked into the warp. And it's not even like I was six dicing anything. It's just like I was being punished for playing a Nurgle demon prince. It's like everyone's like,
As you should be.
dice gods are just like, fuck you. You don't deserve to take this. So that's the story in itself.
It's because you're in the Midwest, you gotta play fluffy.
Yeah, exactly.
Against Warriors of Chaos, for me, it's very frustrating, because it's literally like, if you don't kill the Demon Prince by turn 2, you just fucking lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it is. Everything has to go on the Demon Prince. You have to flip the Demon Prince. You have to. That's why taking the Spear Chuck is out of my list for
Brawler.
brawlers. I was like, oh no, I actually kind of want these to kill Demon Princes with. But whatever.
Yeah, have you guys seen Lord Tremendous's videos?
Yes.
He has the worst luck with demon princes. Like, they just get killed by bolt throwers. It's ridiculous.
Well,
I've never. I don't know. Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't think he goes. I mean, I think is a more fluffy player than a lot of the Warriors of Chaos builds with that. So I think that may have something to do with it too. I mean, his most
Absolutely.
recent ones, he was doing the dual Mutalith lists. I mean, I love that. I think that's awesome. But I mean, that was something that would fit in totally in my tables, but probably get him laughed out of a GT.
See, I feel like I have more in common with him because I like to play theme armies and just have fun with them. That's why I have Forsaken and crap like that.
What's Forsaken?
Huh?
What's Forsaken?
People? I don't know how to
Anime tentacle monsters. Don't think about it too hard.
Is that a philosophical question? Like,
No,
what's
that was-
Forsaken? Like, should I dig deep into my soul and find my inner demons and spew them out right now? Like,
No,
what the fuck are you talking about, Nick? I'm gonna explode, goddammit!
That was my way of saying nobody knows what they are because no one uses them.
Oh,
I know they have models now.
so you're pulling Tyler sarcasm?
Nope.
Oh, St. Nicholas.
It's funny, like Tyler will say stuff to us on chat, and we don't know whether he's being sarcastic or not, so we don't know how to respond. It gets pretty ridiculous.
So wait, before we continue bantering, I guess I'll show what I'm doing. These are my squigs that let's get a little focus in. Yeah, I'm working on my squigs because they look like shit. So we're just a base coat of everything. So now they finally got some coats and some washes and stuff. So working on those for Brawler Bash,
So are you taking a horde of them to Brawler?
of course.
Right on.
I also got these in the mail, which I'm doing my troll bases on. I don't know if you can actually see the texture on here. Let me see if maybe if I put the lamp on it. Does that make it worse? Oh, there you go. You got it. These are the textured stamps from Happy Seppuku for the clay. I don't know if you've seen these for modeling putty and stuff like that. And here's like the swamp like additives. So you got like tree bait. I'm trying to get there's like plants and there's lily pads and stuff. And I got some varnish that I'm gonna use to do some water, and I got some army painter tufts laying around. So I've been working on these bases a little bit. That's pretty much it. Eventually I want to do my whole army like that, but I have to unbase everything. I have to like literally pop them off the bases, and I'm probably not gonna get that done before Brawlers. So.
This is the first army I've used with the Army Painter Tuft. I really like the stuff. I'm using the Highland grass and stuff right now.
I like I got 3 of them. I'm using the Jungle Tuft or the Swamp Tuft. Yeah, the Jungle Tuft. And then this one is really cool because I think it's really versatile. This is the Meadow Flowers. I don't know if you can actually see here. It's like got like yellow and white flowers in it. It's really cool because you can use it through multiple things. Like the swamps have yellow and white flowers, meadows have yellow and white flowers, towns have yellow and white flowers. It's really, really versatile. I like these tufts a lot, and it's like I have my big tub of scorched grass, but like in the end it just doesn't look as good.
Where'd you get those?
What's it called? Army Painter, I think. Yeah, Army Painter. They're pretty cheap too. For one of these boxes of tuft, which I'm not sure if I can show. I guess I'm doing an advertisement here. They're relatively inexpensive. It's like $6 for a couple sheets of double-sided, or one sheet of double-sided tuft. So I'd say on here is probably 1, 2, 3. It looks like there's about 20 to 30 tuft per sheet.
I think 2 will do a whole army.
Yeah, two would finish the whole. Absolutely, 2 would finish the whole army if you only use 1 tuft on each one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'll have to check those out. That sounds pretty
They're
cool.
really convenient.
Yeah,
They have a lot of dynamic to the base.
there's a lot of different ones too. Like I wish I'd bring it if I mean I could bring it up, but like you just all of them are really versatile.
Let's see if you can see this one here. Yeah, you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
That's the Highland grass.
It's good.
Yeah,
That
sounds like it would take the hassle out of flocking.
it's not anything you can't do with flock yourself. It's just
It's really
Out of it.
it's really
it-
convenient, and it's not like it dents your pocket. I think it's like $4 for a box of it. So it's like I can sit here and make tuft for a million things, or I can just buy a $4 box and pull it off.
yeah. All you do is take a little flip, put a little glue on the bottom, and stick it around the base.
Mhm.
2 seconds per base.
Huh. I'll have
Really
to check
cool.
them out.
Actually, I'm curious what else they have. Hold on, I'm actually gonna look up what else they have. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Doing my squigs with a purple tongue, as I can.
Where did
Anytime
Nicholas go?
anytime I can get thematic purple into my army, I do it.
Thematic purple.
Well, my savages have purple tattoos. Purple was my favorite color growing up, but my parents thought that it was gonna make me like taboo. Thought that purple
Right.
meant that I was.
God forbid you start liking purple, then you're playing with dolls all day, and
And then they put me in ballet, but that's a totally different story. But nonetheless, they assumed that if I liked purple, I was gonna end up, and they didn't like that, and whatever, to each his own. And so their whole life they were like, no, it's blue. No, your favorite color is blue. And I was like, oh, I guess I like blue. Yeah, I like blue a lot. And then like as I was getting older, I was like, you know what? I really like purple. So like my wardrobe consists of only purple, and my Savage Orcs have purple tattoos, and now they have purple tongues. And if you look at my Black Orc models, the skulls, like the little insignia skulls, are done in purple. Like you really can't see it ranked up, but it's there. It's there. It's in my heart.
Is it a true purple or is it like kind of a magenta?
It's a relatively true purple. I mean, I can show you. This is the colors I've been using. Actually, this is the Reaper. This is the Reaper color. It's a little bit of a different shade than the GW colors. It's like a little less vibrant and a little more like lavendery. I don't know if you can see. Does the light make it worse?
I think
Yeah,
it makes it a little worse.
it's just a white spot.
I wish it would focus. It's
Even
tough.
if
Maybe I'll just hold the bottle up. Like a lavendery purple.
Oh, okay.
It's like a lavender.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the darker purples myself.
You know
when
what? I like the pop of the purple. I don't like the deep purples. I like it to pop.
When I started
Obnoxious.
playing Zinch, I totally got into purples. Not gonna lie, like purples and teals and blues and stuff. Like sea blues, I really like.
Well, I do all the purples for my Slanesh army. I mean, that's like 5 different purples on this.
Yeah, it kind of gets fun, like experimenting with the different kinds of purples.
And it's nice because purple is a complementary color to green.
Yeah,
I did a Space Marine army, purple green.
It works well together. It's actually very natural. People
I
think
got
I'm
shit
crazy
for
though.
No, I got shit for that because I had an orc army as well, and I painted all my stuff purple and green, like their clothes were green. And I'm a huge Hulk fan, so everyone's like, "You just painted your army to look like the Hulk." Like, oh, I didn't even connect that. Holy shit! But yeah, that's I feel you.
Yeah, man. I like my purples. Trying to figure out how to integrate the purple into the trolls, because I don't want to just make them purple, because I think that's actually fucking obnoxious.
Hmm.
A purple river troll would probably be one of the most obnoxious things I've ever seen.
What about
So-
You
purple
don't want to troll
vomit?
people with your trolls.
I'm gonna hug you to death.
What about the purple vomit?
I mean, I guess I could put purple vomit in. That would work. Purple vomit would be cool.
Hmm.
I guess I could do that. Yeah, I could definitely put the purple into the vomit. Because there's nowhere really to highlight it. I think it would look ridiculous anywhere else. I guess the vomit is where it has to go.
Solve that.
There we go. I actually would never have thought of that.
I'm glad I've done at least something constructive here.
I was thinking about doing it on like the string of their weapons and things like that, like making a purple yarn or something. But I guess no, I like the purple vomit better.
They're just drunk on really, really bad wine.
I think I have to mix some purples and browns though to make it like a muddy purple.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's just literally going to look like the purple of the tongues of the other stuff, and then it's just no continuity. Yeah, I guess I'll mix it with some browns.
Just
Nick-
say they have stomach ulcers. They're my stomach ulcer trolls. That's all right.
When
They're
people
just
ask
really
me,
stressed out.
why my Savage Orc tattoos are purple, I say they got bored and they were eating some berries, and then they smashed them on their head. They're already not that bright.
That's
Right.
straight up. Yeah, I mean, you have to roll to see if they like throw poop at each other and crap. I mean, come
Why
on.
is that always the default for you when something fails animosity?
I don't know. I just like the thought of like someone at work getting pissed off and just being like, "Hey, screw you!"
Did you guys
But
like?
why does it go for a warrior race? Why does it instantly go to throwing poop? Really?
I don't know. Got no answer.
You guys didn't happen
Comedy
to watch
relief,
the last bat rep that Nick put up, did you?
I don't think I've gotten to it yet.
The one between me and him where I had 5 of my 6 blocks fail animosity on turn 1.
That wasn't the most recent one.
Oh.
I saw that one. The most recent one was him, dwarves versus warriors to chaos.
Oh, I didn't even know he played that game. Yeah, no, that one against me was...
Yeah, no, that was the most ridiculous level of animosity failing I've ever seen.
And then the next turn they failed again, the Savages, and I was just like, this is...
I counted 9 animosity fails in 2 turns. Is that about right?
That's about right. And I just looked at him, and I was like, this is actually ridiculous. He's like, do you want to replay it? I'm like, no, it's going to happen. I got to learn to play. And then, like, I was like, wait a minute, I can... This game isn't out of hand yet. This is pathetic. And he looked at me. He's like, I don't understand how you haven't lost yet. And I was looking at it. I was like, I guess I kind of got it. And then the fucking screaming bell again. Just everything gets +1 attack. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, why do you... Oh, he always rolls well on the screaming bell exactly when he needs it.
Right.
Exactly when.
My wife plays Orcs and Goblins too. If she ever got 9 animosities in 2 turns, she'd flip the damn table.
I've had to coach myself from not doing it because you just have to concede that it's going to happen.
The reason I said that is that she's only hearing half this conversation because I got the headphones on, and she's standing just off camera staring at me right now.
Tell her I feel her pain.
Oh, damn, she moves too fast for the camera to catch her.
Yeah. It's at the turn at Crossroads though, I do have to say I got incredibly lucky with animosity. I think I failed animosity probably a total of 5 times total.
In 5 games, that's not bad.
But 3 of those animosity fails were on the first 2 turns of my last game.
Oh.
So like my general didn't fail animosity, irresistible forced every single foot of Gork, and never got sucked into the warp at all. Until the last game when I lost him on turn 1. So I was like, I guess I gotta count my losses here, because I could have. I think I rolled like an 11 on the fail a bunch of times. What's the one where it's like a strength 10 hit for everything in base contact except the wizard? I was like,
7?
Yeah, whatever it was. I was like, this is ridiculous. I shouldn't be getting this many free foots off. I've had some good luck with casting lately, unless I'm fucking playing Nick. Whenever I'm fucking playing Nick, nothing goes right.
I think we'd all have that person. That sucks our luck up.
Or there's a big piece of damn impassable terrain in the fucking starting area that I happen to get.
Speaking of which, did you guys hear about, I was watching, I think it was Adam Sinclair's, apparently the European ETC has now ruled that you can't garrison buildings now, they're just impassable terrain.
Why would they?
Oh yeah, I did hear that. That's
Are you having people do dumb leapfrogging things? Is that why?
Well, it's not over here, I just,
yeah,
like...
UK.
That's UK, yeah. I was just like, what the hell? Because I can't think of a single reason why that would be a good idea.
I mean, like, I guess leapfrogging, because you could technically pop a horde out the other side and turn it sideways, don't you? Can't you?
Yeah. As long as you've got one side touching the building when they pop out.
I mean, you could leapfrog a full 7 inches.
It kind of eliminates a big part of the game, I think. I mean, if you take that out, I don't know. Because buildings are like one of the few actual terrain pieces that are useful or actually can help make or break the game. So I don't know why you would make it do it like that.
I feel like on a lot of my tables that we seem to play here, we don't even pick where they're going.
Well, let's look at it this way.
Hey, Nick's back. Hey, Nick.
Hi, Nick.
If you take even, let's say, like a Roman war kind of theater, does hiding in a building really do anything on a big scale battle like that?
No. It basically it kind of gives a funnel point. Unless they have like war machines or something, then they can just burn you alive in it.
Well, like, take the American Revolutionary War. If you have, like, 50 troops hiding in a building, what is that really going to accomplish for you?
Well, I mean, we won that war, so maybe it's a bad example.
Well, no. It doesn't matter who won or lost. What Hiding in a
Well, no,
building did not yield that many
holding.
advantages.
It's
Well,
actually
it is a strong defensible position. I would argue that a small force of elite troops holding a building could have a huge impact on a battle,
yeah.
particularly depending on
I
what
completely agree
they're
with
armed
you.
with.
Because nowadays it's all urban warfare, and that's a big part of it. And I know for certain that their musket balls aren't as strong as our armor-piercing bullets today. So you would think that it would actually be safer inside the building,
Oh,
unless they just got pissed off and burnt it down. Which
Let's look at it from this perspective. Okay, ready? Here's a perspective. Let's say a non-archery based unit in like old scale warfare went into the building. Let's say the equivalent of Black Orcs or like a Spartan army walked into a building. You're telling me you're willingly going to run past this building with your back to a Spartan army? Like, you're not going to do that. You can't.
wait, here, rephrase that real quick.
Like, if you were to, okay, so there's a whole army in front of you, correct? And then off to the flank, there's a building that you watch a contingent of the most prominent warriors walk into. Not archeries, they don't have bows, you visibly see it, but they're clad in heavy armor, and you can see that they are clearly the most gifted, like, shock contingency unit, right?
Yeah.
You know, the second or command is in it as well. You watch something like that happen. You're telling me you're going to willingly run past the building into the rest of the army and give your flank to the strongest warriors you could possibly face in real life? They wouldn't do that. They couldn't.
Yeah, that's
to wait it out.
true. But it also, how do you get them out of the building?
Well, you have to siege that, which then gives the rest of the army, which then gives the rest of the army an opportunity to come at you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is a strategic point. I mean, it
I'm
makes
okay.
sense.
I'm okay with garrisoning the building things, but there should be a cap on it. How do you put like 200 guys in one tiny two-story building? You know?
I mean, I guess that does make sense. All right.
Yeah, that's straight up.
Hashtag real talk.
Yeah. That was actually the worst thing about the only time I've tried one of those siege games. It was against Tomb Kings. So it's like each section of the castle had 200 fucking skeletons in it and a tomb prince, so that they all had crazy, stupid weapon skill. Needless to say, I didn't win that game.
Yeah.
Every time I hear siege games, I just want like the Battle of Helm's Deep. Like that's my ideal like I want to be the Ronan warriors inside the Helm's Deep, just fighting them off. It's the ultimate just standoff.
I think that's what everybody thinks about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wish Warhammer had better siege rules, or just I don't know, played towards that strength. Because I mean, through the fantasy of it, you'd think it would be a big part of it.
Duh, they gave us the Watchtower.
Everyone loves the Watchtower.
I gotta say though, at its base, the siege rules that are in the Blood in the Badlands game are not terrible. They need some work and a few little limitations, like stuff 200 fucking skeletons in a wall section, but it's a workable system, I think, for what you're looking at, Dylan.
Okay, I'm not familiar with the rules too much, but just from what I've heard from like 7th edition, when people tried to do siege games and stuff, it didn't go very well. Or
Yeah.
I've heard people complain about it.
I don't know about that. The only siege I've tried to run is out of Blood in the Badlands during our ill-fated campaign.
So do you think there's potential there that they just need to
I
work
do.
upon?
Like I said, I think the bigger issue is not necessarily the rules they came up with for the siege, but the fact that it hinges so heavily on the building rules that already exist. And like we were talking, really the biggest thing about those building rules that's problematic is that there's no limit on the number of dudes you can cram in there. So the way it works is like each section of the castle is its own building.
Okay.
And you can shatter the walls and stuff, which automatically, if you are fighting some dude in a busted wall and you win, they're automatically pushed out. But you're still overcoming a lot of the fact that nothing but kills counts and that sort of stuff that you get
Using
with
the
the building
building
rules.
rules.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotcha.
So
Yeah, I
I,
could see
Well,
that.
I'm out of here. It's getting pretty late.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on.
Yeah, it's fun talking to you guys. Y'all have a good rest of this conversation. I'm looking forward to seeing the crazy stuff y'all put on here.
Awesome. Later.
All right.
Take it
See ya.
easy. But yeah, I think it's workable if you limit the problems with the buildings, like the number of people in it, and allow for some of the other combat res stuff to affect it. It wouldn't be that bad.
Hmm.
I do love the starvation rules. Those always make me laugh, particularly when you're talking about undead. Yeah, the way it works is like at the start of the game, the person who's defending the castle rolls a die for every model they have in the game. On a 6, that model takes a wound with no saves allowed.
Because they're like starving.
Yeah, because they're starving to death.
Oh my gosh.
And then to basically make up for it, the attackers put themselves out, and the defenders in the castle get 2 shooting phases
oh my god.
before the game starts. And then you basically fight from that point.
Huh. I could see Woodell's doing very well in that right now.
If they took those arrows that don't take penalties, but remember, everything in the castle's in a building, so it's hard cover.
Okay, yeah.
So ballistic-based shooting sucks.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it sucks anyway, but
I'm a believer in it. I'm not willing to say that it sucks totally. So I just think that there's it's one of those things that makes it hard to play with in the Siege game. But
yeah.
the other thing I like is the individual Siege equipment that each side can buy, because that's pretty funny. You can get basically like a Dragon's Breath gate that burns people as they get close to it, or oil that you can buy, or different tower upgrades for your castle. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Well, before we go, as I do have to get going, I got work tomorrow, I want to see if you guys can see what I finished tonight. Yay, 20 swordsmen who are not completely white and spray painted to look like crap.
Holy crap. Yeah.
So that's not bad. 20 swordsmen, an hour and a half.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
What, base coats?
What?
Did you just do base coats?
Yeah, because frankly, there's not enough detail left on these with the paint to worry about inking them.
Okay.
Because, like I said, whatever paint got used, it just filled up most of the paint. So these guys are going to be like the Alt Dwarf Burn Victims unit, because most of them don't have faces anymore, and they look pretty rough. But it's enough where I can plunk it down as a detachment on the table, and it won't drive me crazy the entire game. So I'll count that as a win.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you
All right,
gotta do.
guys. Yeah.
Thanks for coming on,
I'm
man.
going to go ahead and split. So, good chatting with you guys, and I'll probably catch you next week then.
All right.
Later, man.
All right. I think I might wrap it up too. Are you guys game for that?
Yeah, I'm done. I gotta go to bed. I got enough squigs done for the night.
Very good.
I'm good with whatever.
All right. Peace out, guys.
Later.
Later.